Hi, Jiyoung. Thank you so much for doing this. It is National Women's History Month, and one of the things that I wanted to do is just to show the local women all the good stuff that they're doing. And so this really meant a lot to me for you to meet here and have this interview with me. I do have 3 questions, and I'm going to go through them and do the best that you can to answer. Just whatever you can. So the first one is, give us a little background of your journey and how it has shaped you into the woman you are today.
So my name is Jiyoung. It means a good plant with strong roots. I was born in Seoul, Korea. Okay. And about half of my life I lived in Korea, and about the other half I lived here in the United States. I turned 40 this year, so that means about 20 years in Korea approximately, and the other 20 here in the States. I moved quite a bit between Korea and the States when I was growing up, and I went to college in Korea. I went to a women's university. Nice. So I had education in a women's university for 4 or 5 years. Okay. And then after that, I worked as a reporter, news reporter. Okay. Shortly. I got married, and now I'm a mom of 3 boys. So in my house, I'm the only female. I live with 4 guys for now. Living between very different 2 cultures gave me a perspective about how each gender is viewed in each different culture. Mm-hmm. When I grew up in Korea, we grew up in a society where men are more preferred. Like mothers preferred boys over girls. Also, I'm the oldest daughter in the family.
Very tough.
Yes, you always grow up in that. Well, you're not a son, but at least you have to set up a good example for your siblings, for your younger siblings. So I grew up under that pressure, but not really given an opportunity to really stand out or be a representative of the family. Like whenever something like an event is in place, my younger brother would be, like the face of everything. Yes. But when I went to college, as I said, I went to a women's university. That's when we really started to realize that, girls can do stuff too, because we were forced to do everything, like when we were doing like club events, like school club events, then the usual job that we thought that boys are supposed to do, girls had to do it, like carrying the heavy stuff, going up ladders, changing light bulbs and stuff like that, putting up stuff. And that's when I realized, actually girls can do stuff. It may take a little bit more time. Sometimes it can be challenging, but we'll find out a way to do it. And it made me think that, maybe, just don't give up before you start anything. And then after getting married and then having 3 boys, I usually thought that girls and boys, the gender differences were formed socially by social standards, and they tried to match up to that standard. But as I was raising my 3 boys, I realized that there could be social expectations to it, but also there are some differences of traits in them. So it made me appreciate more of who I am, being a woman, having the abilities that I have just by being a woman. So that's what I got to more appreciate it. Being in this moment of thinking about Women's Month, it makes me more appreciate who I am, and also acknowledge that there are people who are not women as well, like looking at the differences, and that also means that accepting the things that I do have already. So that means a lot to me.
Wow, that was very powerful. And I'm so glad that you brought up this female to male differences. I was born and raised by West African parents, But then I grew up in Italy, where it's basically set up just like how you mentioned. The women typically stay home, and then the men do all of the things. And I am the oldest of three. But the same thing with you, right? Is there's that high expectation that even though you're a daughter, you're the firstborn, so you have to set examples for everything else. But in the African culture, actually, it happens the same way, that whenever there's like funerals and everything, it's the guy. Even if he's young, like 5 years old, they will try to make sure that he would take charge and ownership of that. So you go into the university and learning that you can be empowered, it's a very powerful story. Mm-hmm. So thank you for sharing that. The second question here is, in what ways do you believe the celebration of Women's History Month can empower individuals to challenge stereotypes, break barriers, and strive for gender? And you touched on it a little bit when you were saying considering the other gender, but if you could just touch on how this month can empower these individuals.
The reason why women is because of the social standards, because of the social stigma that's attached upon women. But after having 3 boys, I slowly realized that maybe there are some differences that are caused by gender differences. But actually thinking about Women's History Month makes me accept even those differences, no matter makes you feel strong or no matter it makes you feel weak. That's not really important. You're a woman. You're, as a human being, you really get to appreciate yourself, and makes me also appreciate the other gender as well. So I think this Women's History Month is not only believing in women, it's actually a huge chance to celebrate all humanity. So I think that's why it's really important to us.
All right, Jiyoung, the third but not the least question is, could you share a message of empowerment for young women and girls who aspire to make a difference in their communities and beyond?
So I think that women usually have this perspective or thought that they want to be a flower. They want to be a flower. It's beautiful, you know. They attract all these good insects. They smell wonderful. Everyone wants a flower. But as time goes by, I hope they realize that they're just not a flower. They can also be a fruit, because flower turns into a fruit. Even if you go beyond, think about beyond that point, women are not really just a flower. They're not just a fruit. They're actually the root.
That's right.
And they're sustaining those big trees. People don't really realize that the roots are there because they're under
Invisible.
there. Yes,
that's right.
But they're there. They're sustaining that big tree. They're so strong. So I want to tell maybe the next generation that just sustain what you're doing. Believe in yourself, and you may be seen. Sometimes you may feel like you're not seen, but you're there, and that gives us so much power to everyone. So.
That was a great analogy. Thank you so much. And you're right. You could be seen, but not seen. It doesn't diminish you being a woman. So yeah, let's celebrate together. Thank you.
Thank you.